And we're back in the room. Okay, so where are we? What are we doing? Last time I was here, we entered the guardhouse. The outhouse, as I often tend to accidentally call it. Yeah, we'll take these. Oh, good. Okay. Create a bit of space. Do we have shotgun rounds? We do. Okay, I'll take them. Put that back. Don't bother with herbs, I'll grab the ones outside. Mansion, what is that for? I think that's for the room where it's the room where the special key is, I believe. Or the room with the door that you need the special key for, so I'll put that back. I don't think we're going to use that here. Probably never end up using that key, to be honest. See, there's loads of herbs here. Get the ones outside first, because they're a bit more of a trek. That lovely wolf howling stock background sound effect. There's other things you hear that in as well. I'm sure like it's popped up in sure it's pops up in like the Mighty Boosh and stuff like that. Let me get the green. Sure. Mix them up, why not? Something I learned actually not long ago. You think you sort of know everything about a game, but it's cool and little surprises crop up. But not only is Chris a little bit better with his gunshots, like I think when you play as Chris, it takes less hits to kill things with a handgun. I'm not sure it's actually because the handgun's different, but I think it's because he's supposed to be a better shot. It also makes sense because his weakness is he doesn't have as much space as Jill does. It's a weird trope in games actually back then where women had more inventory slots. Which kind of makes you think of that scene in Metal Gear Solid where Meryl says to Snake, women have more hiding places than men. There's probably I don't know if that was the thinking behind giving women more item slots, but yeah, won't be surprised, to be fair. I guess there's always the sort of logic of like traditionally women always have like more handbags and stuff like that on them. Although that's becoming more of a as someone who has a man bag these days, that's becoming a bit of an outdated stereotype. Just give me one sec, guys. My oh, we have to adjust my specs. Got these crappy specs, you see. The glass, the lens keeps popping out because the lenses are for a different pair of glasses. I had to kind of jerry rig the lenses for the lenses for a different size. Basically, my old frame fell apart. I had an old pair, and I had to sort of slot these in, but they're a completely different shape, so they will pop out every now and then. I'm actually waiting for a new pair to get made. I went all fancy and got some designer ones. Hopefully they're a bit more durable. So there's that red. There's the games room. I went past that big red door. I don't think, as Jill, you necessarily ever have to go in there. So a lot of it is for a puzzle that Jill doesn't need to do, which is basically that door here. You mix chemicals in there, but it's not required really. Dormitory key, I sure will. Oh no! That's locked. 3. Hey! Of course, in the remake, I mean, you can shoot them if you wish, but it's not really required. But in the remake, it's required to kill them, but you can't just stand there shooting them because they just keep respawning. So in the remake, there's a hole in this kind of wall where I am now. You pump like a chemical through, and it kills them all. Then you can go down there and get I guess the key I've just grabbed now. I think that's how it works. The green herb. Yeah, it's very generous with its herbs. Get rid. Always like this music. It's one of the few tracks they actually kept on the remake as well. Hey up. Takes a few. Dead. No water is left. Yeah, there's literally nothing. Oh no, there's some clip there. I will certainly use the lockpick. Yay!
Plant 42 report. 4 days have passed since the accident, and the plant at point 42 is growing amazingly fast. It has been affected by the T-virus differently than other plants have been, and shows unique shape in addition to its size. Looking at the way it behaves, it is now difficult to determine what kind of plant it was originally. There are 2 ways in which Plant 42 gathers nutrition. The first one is through its route that reaches into the basement. Immediately after the accident, a scientist went mad and broke the water tank in the basement. Now the basement is filled with water. It is easily imaginable that some chemical elements were blended in the water and promotes an incredibly fast growth of Plant 42. Another part of Plant 42 from the basement grows through the ducts that hangs down like so many bulbs from the ceiling of the first floor. Many vines come out of those bulbs and they are the second resource for its nutrition. Once sensing movement, Plant 42 shoots its vines around the prey and holds it. Then it starts sucking up blood using the suckers located at the back of its vines. It also has some intelligence. It blocks the door by twining its vines around it, especially when it captures prey or is sleeping. Several staff members have already fallen victim to this. May 21st, 1998, Henry Starton. And those of you with acute sense of hearing, or just sense of hearing, may have noticed the sound quality got better randomly. That's because it's then weird from 5 months in the future of this original recording. I went back in to reread that because I kind of fluffed reading it the first time, as there was a lot of noise outside, and my glasses, I was waiting for my new glasses prescription, so I fumbled it a bit, but it should be back on track now. As the video continues, you may hear me reference talking about redoing it, and I indeed did, but not using AI like I speculated on doing. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the show.
It's a pretty easy puzzle. I always remember back in the day that that graphic on the wall used to seem like photorealistic on a CRT TV. Now you look at it, it's really hazy. Yeah, since I last played, there was a massive quite a big update for this game. Like, I don't know, let me square it off. It was nearly 2 gigabyte. I was a bit worried that the save file would not be here when I came back, but luckily that's not the case. I couldn't really find anything. What it did, I looked into it, and some people claimed it lets you have play the DualShock version. You know, they redid all the music in it, and all the new music's horrible. But luckily, it didn't do that to it either. They also said, like on the update, it had something to do with the PAL version. Like, because apparently it was stuck being the PAL version when it came out. No choice to change it to NTSC, but I looked and it was already set to NTSC, so I don't know what they're on about. Lots of herbs. I'm just going to combine a lot of these for space. So it is very generous with the herbs. As I was saying earlier, yeah, I forgot. I went off on a tangent and forgot, didn't I? But when things you learn about games years after, it's turned grey. Yeah, about Chris, not the item slot thing. That wasn't a big revelation. The revelation was that apparently Chris heals better as well. Like apparently a green herb with Chris will do a lot more than one green herb with Jill. So she's just sort of running in slow motion. Whoa! Hey up. I didn't get the. I must have gone the wrong way. You usually get an FMV if you come down here. It's locked. Oh, there is one that's open here though. Go away! Run, Jill, run! Slow motion run! Baywatch style. Alright, old Pammy had to deal with sharks a few times, but not zombie sharks. Sure does look like a plan. Useful? There's something in here though. You know what, guys? I've just made a complete tit out myself, haven't I? There's that, it's not the room. It's not the, it's the other dormitory. Stairs. There's a key in there for down here. I've gone right the wrong way. Actually, guys, I was just thinking, this a little revelation in my head, a little idea is I might, when it comes to reading files, because I'm not the greatest public reader, I may just go over the audio with like an AI voice that reads it out. I'm sure that'll be more pleasant for you to listen to and less awkward for me.
You didn't end up doing that, did you? Ha!
And if I'm saying this now, and I do go ahead with that means that's already happening when those files turn up. We're now all getting very meta and talking shop. There we go. There's not mate. AI voices. The ones you usually hear, don't, is that kind of one that sounds like sounds like Morgan Freeman, but if Morgan Freeman was like a IT nerd or something. Ah, yes, this book as well. Yeah, there's either the IT Morgan Freeman, or there's the one that sounds like the Stanley Parable voiceover. Here we go. messy room. I guess I could keep that, and yeah. No. Actually, hang on. I use that, so back on track. Take the bazooka. Still save, yeah. Beretta. Yeah, no, because there was. I heard they changed. Like as the games went on, they stopped naming them after real guns. I heard an update change the name of the guns or something. Unless I'm reading the wrong. Unless there was an update for the Resident Evil remake, and that's what that did. But one moment, guys. We'll just mess with the settings. There we go. Yeah, one thing I found quite funny recently was I was reading it was on Wiki, but I think it did link to a real interview of Shinji Mikami, who made this game. He made this. He produced most of them to a point, and then did his main two was this one and Code Veronica, the remake of this. Then he went off his own, his own direction and did The Evil Within, various other stuff that I think he's working on something now actually. But it was in an interview he said that when he made this game, other than it kind of initially was meant to be a remake of the game Sweet Home, it was obviously they couldn't get the rights to Sweet Home at that point. I don't know who has the rights to Sweet Home. That game was based off a film which I watched recently actually, and I quite liked it. It was a weird film, but quite good. Like, weird in the sense that it felt a bit like it had been tampered with a bit by the studio, and I think the director disowned it as well. It had some nice effects in it and stuff. It was totally nothing like Resident Evil, but I wasn't really expecting that. Push the lever, yep. But yeah, so part of his sort of motivation for this sort of, this sort of style narrative was there's a switch for the room next door. Is he saw a film called Zombie, Lucio Fulci's Zombie, or in the UK it's called Zombie Flesh Eaters. It's also known as Zombie 2, because it's a sequel. It's kind of in Italy. It's the sequel to Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead is called Zombie. Italy. Zombie with an I. An interesting fact actually is the game Zombie U is actually based off them owning the license to Zombie. So Zombie U is actually basically a game of Dawn of the Dead, or it's at least that IP of the Italian title of Dawn of the Dead. If that makes sense. But yeah, Shinji Mikami said he saw Lucio Fulci's Zombie and he heard like a lot of noise about it. When it came out, it was really hyped up in Japan apparently. And he went to see it and he was actually like really disappointed by it. Very underwhelmed, and he basically thought Resident Evil was kind of like what he thought that film was going to be. Look at that. Kicking about. Something actually kind of sad about that, isn't it? It's kind of flopping about. This music going do 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 do. Something a little bit uncomfortable. You're kind of tempted to put them out of their misery. Should we put them out of misery? Go on then. But even that, watch as it dies, it just bleeds out like there's something. Yeah, there's something. Something quite sad about that for some reason. Yeah, anyway, Shinji Mikami. So he made this thinking, with the intent of like, well, this is what I thought Zombie was going to be, based off the hype. Although I do have to say, I actually really like Zombie. So, different tastes, I guess, but I think Fulci's Zombies fucking is amazing. Name any other film where you see a zombie fight a shark. And it's not CG. It's literally a shark and a guy that's a zombie. A guy in zombie makeup. Apparently, when Quentin Tarantino made Inglourious Basterds, I think he was either him or someone told Brad Pitt about that scene with the shark, and he's like, I need to see this. And Quentin Tarantino was like, okay, yeah, but don't look it up. Don't look it on YouTube or anything like that. I can get a 35mm print down here today. We'll watch it tonight. So, flame rounds, nice. There you go. I don't know what Brad Pitt thought of it, but I'm sure he was impressed. You can't not be, really. Another file. Alright. The Jolt report. As I stated in the last report, there were some common features found in the cells of the plant. Infected by the Tyrant virus, it's called the T virus is the Tyrant virus. You heard it here first. We also have found another interesting fact, though some experiments we found an element that destroys these plant cells rapidly, UMD number 16. One of the series of UMD chemicals that we use for that. Experiment named this UMD number 16 as V-Jolt. In our calculation, it will take less than 5 seconds to destroy plant 42 if we put the V-Jolt directly at the root, on the root, per se. You need to mix some of the UMD series chemicals in a specific order to create the V-Jolt, but the UMD series chemicals may generate a poisonous gas which is harmful to the human body. Extreme caution should be taken when handling these chemicals. Following are the types of UMD series chemicals and their brief characteristics. UMD number 2, red, NP/003, purple. UMD number 4, green, yellow/6, yellow. UMD number 7, white. UMD 13, blue, stimulating smell. V-Jolt UMD 16, brown. None of that is relevant to this playthrough because we don't need to bother with any of that. Chris, on the other hand, it's a requirement. I mean, we can do it. We can do that, Jill, but there really isn't much point. Yeah, going in. Alrighty. I always like this music. Do-do-do. Pretty easy. Do-do-do-do. Oh no, it's growing back!
What the hell is this?
What the hell is this? Yeah, fire! Fire!
You saved me!
Yeah,
That was close. Thanks, Barry.
don't mention it. What a monster. I can't believe... What the hell is this place anyway?
What the hell is this place anyway? And we find a key. All this was just to get a key out of a fireplace. Kind of strange when if you think about it.
Okay. I'm gonna stay in the soldiers' area and take a look around. Though I'm sure there are still things in that other mansion as well. Anyway, let's start searching separately.
Okay.
Let's start searching separately. Soldier. Oh no, it's like the barracks, isn't it, or something? Yeah, like the outhouse. Guys, let's go.
Wesker.
Jill, so you're safe.
That's what I was going to say. Where on earth have you been? You disappeared from the hall all of a sudden.
I'm sorry, but I have my reasons. Perhaps you guys have met them? It was all I could do to protect myself against those strange creatures.
Is that right? Anyway, it's good to see you're safe.
Jill, our first priority is to get out of here.
Yes, you're right.
You thought my dictation was bad when reading, jeez.
Now, there are a lot of rooms in that mansion that we can't get into because they're locked up. I have been looking around for clues.
Okay, I'll go to the other house and see if I can find any clues.
Will you do that? I'm counting on you.
Okay then. What's that noise they make? They make a gunshot noise and they explode. Now we're going to go back to the mansion. And I think there will be a few surprises for us on our return. I won't save it. It'll be good. I'll save over there.
Is that radio?
This is Brad. I know you can't answer me, but somehow, give me a sign.
This is Jill. Brad? Oh, it's broken.
Not quit, but yeah. I always remember someone pointed that out to me, that this whole mess they're in is basically because Brad sees a dog and he's in a helicopter and flies off. And just, doesn't re-emerge again until later. Like, if they ever did like a film adaptation of this, a correct film adaptation of this, shall I say, or a good one, and if it's this situation that the situation occurs the same way, they'd have to show a scene where Brad is like overwhelmed and has to fly away, but they'd have to show it in a way that's believable, because there's no way a kind of police force helicopter pilot would see a couple of dogs and be like, right, I'm out of here. Bye. Like, it'd have to be something more to scare him off. I always thought, so I thought maybe what could work is if some vines, try to latch onto the helicopter. Because I know Resident Evil had a thing with. There was a point where they were going to kind of go down this sort of like Day of the Triffids route with it. I believe there was a cancelled game where Barry goes back to the mansion after it's been destroyed, and it's for like plant monsters, like in Resident Evil 2. We're all ready for action. But yeah, I think they sort of had I think they were kind of loosely trying to set something up with more kind of emphasis on plant monsters at one point. They obviously dropped that. I guess they sort of did a similar thing, the mold kind of, you'd argue maybe was a variant of that. No. This terrified me back when I first played it as a wee lad. It's quite a good scene. I know what that key is I missed. That room, the other mansion key. I don't think it is the switch. Yes. Yeah, I don't think it was the special key room. I think it's there's a room after the dog hallway. There's a bunch of herbs out there, but a Eagle of East, Wolf of the West. there's a clue in that for later. But I'm going to assume most of you people watching this know this game as well, if not better than I do. So that is a clue. And back in the day, that what I just did there had me had many of us confused for days. That little medal will be used for something later. And there's Magnum rounds, so I can't carry anymore. I'll come back for them later. You see the moon. Look at that. Yeah, his flame round's pretty good on them hunters. Get me through there, wouldn't it? Which leads to that's the infamous way to go. That's if you go through there, people call it the hunter corridor, I believe, and it's just a bombardment of hunters. So we're not going to be doing that today. Right. Good, we're still recording. There's only one. Okay, remember there being a few. Okay, what's this? Put some bullets in the back room. Use them in case of trouble. Barry. I think when he plays Chris, that note's from Wesker, which is a little bit odd. All this, bloody hell, we've got loads of stuff. I remember got my girlfriend to play the remake of this, and she was all quite happy that she cleared out this place of zombies and crimson heads and all that. And then when she found out, she comes back and they've all respawned or been replaced with hunters. Honestly, she took it so personally. Yeah. What shall I take with me? Choice. I'll probably put handgun bullets back. I'll put the handgun bullets back and the handgun because there's not really much. There's not much use for the handgun now that most things are now hunters. I take the a super herb with me. First aid spray back. And I think we can be on a merry way. Okay, I'll save. Saved. And I think we'll call this the end of this part. And we will return very shortly.